Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Hi, guys. Welcome. I'm Meosha Bean. Welcome back to another episode of Creators to Creators. I'm super excited for our guest today, my friend, the one and only...
Randy Martinez. Hey.
Hey, he's in the house.
Yes, finally.
Yeah,
well, I'm in my house. I'm not in your house. I'm in my house. But yeah.
I know, right?
To answer your first question, I was born here in the Los Angeles area, out in the San Fernando Valley,
right.
And that's just where I grew up. I grew up here around the industry. My dad was an editor for NBC,
nice.
And when I was growing up, he already had won an Emmy, so there was an Emmy trophy there in the living room, and that's just how I grew up. I grew up around TV. Okay. He worked on a lot of old shows. You know, before I was born, he worked on like Welcome Back, Kotter, and
oh wow!
And he worked on all these old shows, and that's just how I grew up. I just grew up, and my dad worked in TV. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but yeah, apparently it is, especially for Latino in the '70s. Now I look back, like, wow, that's
amazing.
That was pretty amazing. But yeah, it just kind of, that's me and my brothers. We all just got into the same industry. He opened his own business in the '80s called Blue Water Post. And when I graduated high school later on, that was my first job. That's where I started working. And because I was so good at drawing, it just became natural to get into computer graphics.
Nice.
So that's kind of like how I first got in the door. The first thing that did it was the movie Tron.
Ooh, good one.
Tron came out, and this was, I don't even know what year that was. He saw that movie and said, wow, the computer is going to be the next thing. The computer making movies, that's going to be huge. So then when I was a little kid, he bought me it's really obsolete, but a old Commodore Amiga, which was like the first kind of like, I think it was the first computer that did, I think 16-bit graphics or something. It was like really, really old. And he said, here, learn to draw on this. And that's where I learned how to use a mouse and learned all that stuff was on that. So then after I graduated high school, they bought a system called the Collage system, which used pen and tablet, but it was like similar. I'm like, oh, this is just like drawing on the old Amiga. This is the same thing, but now it's like broadcast, like, wow. And that's how I got started with, doing, little dirt fixes, scratch removal stuff. So like in the telecine process, when film gets transferred to tape, dirt would get in there and it would scratch it, or you'd see a boom in the shot. Wow. I would digitally go and paint it out.
That's crazy.
And that's just kind of like how I got started. And then I just, that place closed, and I went from place to place and ended up at the Talk, which I'm furloughed right now, but hopefully they'll have us back soon.
We missed the Talk. We missed the show, guys. It's a great show.
Yeah, they're trying to do the at home. Everybody's doing the at home thing, which is, it's going to get pretty tiring. It's just
not the same,
Exactly. They don't have the good cameras. They don't have the good mics. You're asking the talent to be their own crew person.
Right.
Which doesn't work very well. I mean, some of the younger people could grasp it a little bit better, but They're talent. They're not supposed to. That's somebody else's job to do
That's
that.
true.
Okay.
What are you working on right as of now to stay creative, and what do you have in the works, like as far as like to get your mind off this whole quarantine situation? What do you have in the works now?
Well, yeah, there's so many. I like to be creative any way I can.
Yeah.
Whether it's writing, photography, drawing, of course, but also music. Music is also something I'm trying to get back into. But there's a show that I've been developing with my friend Lou Pizarro. You know Lou, and you know it was an idea that came up a long time ago, and we were supposed to film it a long time ago with Emilio Rivera. But things fell through. Then we got no LG to do it, but then that didn't happen, you know, and it just kind of was just forgotten about. And I said, you know, that was a good idea. We should do it. And one thing, when I read the script, I saw some issues with the script. I'm very particular about scripts.
That's good.
And the details. It's all about the details, because if you don't pay attention to the details,
it will show up in the film.
Yeah. And you can't assume that your audience are morons.
Right.
See, that's what The Walking Dead does. The Walking Dead, they think you're morons.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, by now, all the gasoline would be gone. All the gas would be bad. All the canned food would be rotten. They throw all that out the window.
Yes.
So it's, to an intellectual person, it's not believable.
Not at all.
You know, and it's like, there's no way a zombie could last for that long. I mean, your cells don't regenerate. How do you pick up something heavy, you hurt your back, you're messed up for the whole month.
Yeah, you're out. You're out of.
No, that's even worse, because you're not recovering. Anyhow, I pay attention to the details. So I said, let me rewrite the script. There was a lot of missed things in the details, and I didn't like the story arc. I felt it didn't finish with a bang to keep you wanting more.
Yeah.
It was kind of more like a psychological, oh no, what's going to happen? But I said, no, we need something, bam. We need some immediate danger.
Yeah.
So then I went ahead, rewrote the script, and added more action and this and that. And we were going to partner with Danny Trejo. They were going to start a production company. And they read it. They liked it. They're like, oh, well, Danny wants a big part in it. And we're like, well, okay, we can, you know. So then I expanded on it and this and that. Well, then they kind of left that idea to go do taco shops.
Oh,
which they are good. They are good taco shops.
Great. If you haven't had it, go check it out.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good, I must say.
They're pretty good. Yeah.
So now we're just kind of back to trying to find somebody to either partner with or just find a network that's interested in it. But
yeah,
I started putting away money to just film the pilot myself.
That's great.
But during the quarantine, I've had a lot of time, so I've been just developing the story. I have a lot of story arcs I've been trying to, connect and just, I'm just using this time to get writing done. And then I'm at the same time starting, that's more like an action drama. But I'm starting to write a comedy. So I'm thinking maybe I should get back into also comedy, because I have a lot of jokes in my head. And the original idea I got was I was eating cereal and I finished my cereal and there was milk still left in the bowl. And I was like, what would a weird person do? Well, they go and pour it back into the carton. So then that became the basis. I'm like, what if there was this character that did things like that? A little socially awkward. And yeah, he's not, well, if I got milk left over, I'll just pour it back in the carton. So that became the kind of the character for this next project that I'm developing. It's called American Way.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's not spelled W-A-Y. All you Latino people know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's another. I'm using this time to do that.
Hey,
and then at the same, thanks. And then at the same time, I have a music album that's unfinished.
Oh my god!
I play guitar, and I can't sing terrible.
Of course, you play the guitar.
Yeah. So.
Of course. I mean, that's another thing. I didn't know that. Oh my god! Of course, you play the guitar. You're just, there's people that are talented and there's people that are just like, oh my God, like out of this world talented. And that's what you are, because you can do anything. It's like whole Childish Gambino, like he can sing, write, he, raps, he plays instruments, it's just like, how do you do, it's amazing. So, hey, I mean, that's just a gift. I love it when I see people doing that. Like I only can do certain things. I cannot play instruments. No.
You have the voice. It's okay. You can do good voiceover. You can do all that stuff.
Okay.
So.
Last question.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
Because of, I don't know. I don't know if you, obviously the whole world, we're all feeling this depressing kind of time that we're in with this coronavirus, this uncertainty that we're living in where, oh my God, when is Hollywood work? Like when are we going to go back to normal life? And what does that look like? So what does that look like for you? Are you optimistic? Are you excited to get back to work? And are you, because I know a lot of people are not really sure. They're not certain that they're going to be working after all this.
I'm not too worried. If you're a gambling person, like I'm healthy. I don't have any problems. So I'm not afraid to go out there without a mask. I mean, I know other people might, for their state, sound of mind, I'll wear it if it makes them feel better. I don't care. Yeah. But I'm not worried. Now, yes, we all took a hit. I haven't worked in, the talk has been off for over 2 months. We haven't done an episode. Well, they've been doing the home thing, which doesn't involve me, doesn't include me. So I think the summer will kind of curve it happens even with the flu. Yeah. Same principles. There's a thing called flu season. There was a thing called Corona season. I just made that up. But I think the summer will help because, I'm not a scientist and all that, but like example, you leave your cup in your car. It's sitting there in the heat. Yeah. That's going to help kill off anything, but I'm not a scientist, but for the industry coming back, I mean, it would be nice. Now there are some safety measures in place that unions want in place, which may take some time for the studios to catch up and get all that stuff going. But yeah, it's kind of a weird question because as far as the talk, they did want to come back. I can't say when, but they did want to come back at a date. They set a date, and they were going to do it without an audience. Kind of like the UFC. The UFC did it without an audience, which is fine. Because to be honest, the talk studio audience, they are an older crowd. Yeah. And they are the more susceptible to the. So yeah, well, we could just do the show without an audience. It's fine. As far as production, you can probably get right back into it. I mean, yes, you can test the temperatures and do all that, but well, I guess it depends. Some crews are ridiculously over. You don't need that many people. So yeah, you can get a skeleton crew. You'll save the budget. It'll be safer for everybody. But at the same time, wear masks. It's fine. I have no problem wearing a mask to work. I work in an office with 2 other people, and if it makes them feel happier, I'll wear a mask or I don't care. But yeah, hopefully it can bounce back and we can, get back to work because it will recover, but the longer we're off, the slower it's going to be because it's a whole economics, because people, I saw some posting on Facebook, oh, well, it's going to bounce back as soon as the economy opens, everything's going to come back to normal. I'm like, well, no, a lot of people don't have the money to spend at the businesses that just reopened. Right. I haven't gotten any money in months. So it's like, I'm going to be, stingy for a while. I'm not going to go out buying crazy stuff because I don't want to run up my credit. I just paid a lot of money in credit. I just got rid of it. Yeah. I don't want to just start throwing it back on there thinking, I'll recoup it later. So it's going to be a gradual, and the longer we're off, the longer it's going to be, the recovery is going to be longer, I think. But I'm optimistic.
I love that.
But also at the same time, don't go crazy with the Purell and the Clorox and all that because people are like, oh, sanitize germs. Well, you are also weakening your immune system.
Very true.
I was very good at biology. And your immune system is continually evolving. Yes. And if you wash your hands in this in every single second, then I made a comment on the radio show. This is, I've talked blatantly on the radio show real quick. Back in the beginning, they're like, hey, how come Mexico hasn't been hit as hard as the U.S.? And I sit on the radio, I'm like, well, because Mexicans aren't as clean as we are. And they're like, whoa. And I said, hey, think about it.
Yeah.
Americans every second, Purell, every second. I said, Mexican people, no, they're more rugged. They're more out there. They're doing more of the physical labor. They're doing more of this and that. And then, yeah, they'll eat something. It's their immune systems are better.
Are good.
They're tougher because they're not sanitizing every second.
Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
For watching.
Anytime.
And until next time, have a great day, everybody.
Okay. Yes.
Bye.
Bye.